Hello everyone and welcome to the LSI F1.5 EU Championship, and that is a wheel very loose off the circuit. I believe that must have been Becken. He's retired the car and that'll be it. He is done for qualifying. I thought he would be able to challenge for pole position, but no, pushing a little bit too hard. That was a dramatic start to the stream. That literally happened just seconds after we started. We're going to have some great teamwork here from the two Red Bull drivers. Immediately, everything is going on. We've got just about 6 minutes left of qualifying, so we don't have that much longer to go in this session. It's a heck of a circuit. It's either really crazy or really dull. Yesterday we had a crazy race and I'm sure we can have another one today. These guys never have ever failed to disappoint on an entertaining race. We've got Devon Young trying to challenge again. He's currently been beaten by his teammate. He's got a car moving out the way as he goes into the S section. Hopefully they didn't cause too many problems and he'll be good to go. We will see as we go over the sector line what their time is looking like. And it is looking like a 3/10 improvement, so that would get them up there definitely. It would put them in front of Peanuts, but Charlie has set an absolute stonker. I was concerned about their pace compared to the other drivers. I think they are a very good driver. We didn't quite get to see it in USA, so maybe they should be considered a higher tier driver. Devon Young's given it his best shot to catch up. He's still got that's 7/10 to go if he wants to try and catch up. So yeah, it's a lot of work to do. Not impossible, I am just going to say that, but Charlie, a very, very good driver, maybe finding himself in the wrong tier, needs to go and try and fight Zingy, is quite a possible situation. We've got Monk coming around the final few corners in the Williams. What can he do in the later stages of qualifying? He'll probably get time for one more lap after this one, and he will cross the line, and he's going to start another lap actually, so they backed off on that one and will go yet again. The order right now: Charlie, Devon Young and Peanuts. Peanuts leads the championship. Becken is in P2, and then Devon Young is in P3, having that costly incident in Spain, of course, dropping him down the order and giving one of Peanuts 3 wins this season after 3 races to help him lead the championship. So it is a Swedish 1-2 in the championship, and McLaren lead the constructors after a solid race in USA. Aston no longer take that crown. They were basically even on points into the last race, and Red Bull was only one singular point behind. Red Bull have a very strong pairing, but they've just not had the best of luck, with Devon Young basically having the strongest pace in every single race that we've been to, but just never quite able to get something down. It's never gone quite his way. But this could change. It could definitely change. It is a circuit that is very hard to stay within track limits though, so if you can't get to grips with that, then it might be a bit of a struggle. We're going to go aboard with our brand new driver today, racing as a reserve. This is Richie, who is in the Alpine for today's race. Let's see what he can do. He's currently set at 19.4, got a little bit of work to do if he wants to get further up the order, but as it is his first race, we're not going to expect anything from him. We just want him to try and have fun, get into the race, get into the grid, try and understand everything, and then see what you can do from there. Very loosey-goosey on the rear as they swing the rear end over and do unfortunately invalidate. We've got Dave Raptors, who will be racing as a reserve driver for the higher tier drivers. He was put in the list before we had 15 drivers, so that's why he will be competing today. Terence has retired after, I assume, disconnecting, although they haven't said anything in the chat, so it might be that they have genuinely retired during qualifying. Charlie moving out the way of the other cars. We've got a couple people all on laps at the moment. We're going to go on board with Flexard, who has had pretty good pace in recent races. Of course, in USA, very strong, both half drivers. Can we see this again today? Tom Brainer has been strong at this circuit regardless, so he's going to be looking for a good result. And Flexard, will he be able to follow on? Not with a line like that on entry. He's going to always invalidate that one. We'll see over the sector line. he would have been improving by 3/10. That would have only got him in front of Cookie Monster, so he still needs to find a bit more time if he wants to improve further. We've got Frantic in P6 at the moment, returning back to LSI. Did he race in USA? I think he raced in USA. So good to see him again. And we'll find out what can they do. Can they finally get a good result? They are always and have always been a solid driver, but they've also been one of the most unlucky we have seen on the grid. There's been a few of them, of course. I think probably considered the most unlucky driver of all time of LSI is Vibes. He still holds that crown. He did eventually win a Grand Prix. He showed great success as well, but just didn't quite get as much as he probably should have done. That is Frantic going over the lines. Late stages of qualifying, and that could be it for them. They may be 6th or lower on the grid. We're going to go yet again with our current pole sitter, see how it's done into partway through the first sector. Hitting the apex nicely on the inside, get it opened up on the traction. Squirmy a little bit, but that's just how it goes. Lovely and smooth. And on the power, into 5th gear, into 6th, down the gears by 1 just to get the engine braking. Up the gears. And then we're going to go down again, I assume. No, he's going to stay in 6th gear. Make sure that he keeps the revs up. DRS available. He does have a car in front, but they should be okay. They shouldn't get in the way. He is a 10th down, so he's not actually improved on this lap after all. Final sector now. There is going to be a car eventually moving out the way. It should be slightly distracting round the final corner. It's not been a bad lap at all. What's it going to be for Charlie to finish off qualifying for himself? It's going to be 3/10 down. Still would have been enough for pole position, very likely. Oggio has gone and set a 15.9, so broken into the 15s and sits in front of his teammate. Oggio not as far up in the championship as his teammate, but has showed amazing racecraft so far. He just needs to try and find the rhythm. He's very good at the beginning, at the opening stages. He's struggled in the mid stages and then had late comebacks, but you know, it's a little bit too late. So he knows where he needs to work on. It's just about getting the job done. His teammate, though, sending it through the S's for one final time this evening. That is the clock run. That'll be Monk finished, that'll be Frantic finished, that'll be Dave Raptors finished, Charlie finished as well. Everyone that I've just mentioned will not be able to set another lap. This is going to be the guy, not the next guy, but one of the next guys to finish qualifying. Bad Monkey will go over the line. They go 7th. Devon Young across the line. Is it going to challenge for pole? It's not. It is just going to get in front of his teammate, though. Oggio will not qualify again. Peanuts is coming to the final few corners. We got the two Haas's. They're going to go over the line. What's it going to be for Frantic and Tom Brainer? Frantic cannot improve. Tom Brainer, as he comes around the final corner, what's it going to be for the man who's had such strong pace? It's going to be P4. Peanuts, can he demote him? He can, just immediately. And then we've got Skies in P7, and he's unfortunately not going to be finishing qualifying. The other drivers have a few laps on their tyres, so they will not be able to improve. How about that? That is Charlie on pole position. Devon Young in P2, Oggio in P3, the two Red Bulls in a very strong position to start this Grand Prix. They're going to get a lovely tow into the first corner. Peanuts and Tom Brainer not bad either, but Becker in P2 in the championship, all the way down in 6th. He's got a little bit of work to do. Sky's Bad Monkey, Frantic, and Monk finishing the top 10. Interesting there from the Alfa Romeo of Skies losing the car. He's got a little bit of time to try and get back to the pit lane. I'm sure he was hoping that it wasn't caught on stream, but unfortunately we did just accidentally get it there. Apologies, Sky, for that one. Alrighty, we're going to wait for that clock to run and then we'll be good to go. And we will get this Grand Prix underway. Not a sprint, but you don't need a sprint for Mexico. You do not need a sprint for Mexico. It's a long race. There's lots of opportunities. So we will see how it goes. And we've got plenty of drivers on the grid to get some awesome battling underway. Alrighty, just got to wait for Skies to retire the car. and then we'll be absolutely sorted. Lovely jubbly. Charlie takes pole position, Devon Young in P2, Oggio in P3. This is the rest of the grid. And then we'll skim through the race director, of course the instance section, and then we'll be back for the race. We'll see you in a bit. Ready? Hold! Go! Who's going to get it into turn one? We are! Finally away, there you go. Will Charlie be able to secure that pole position, or are we going to get a safety car immediately? That is a strange one. That shouldn't be the case. I do apologise for that. We're going to continue. I'm just going to make sure everybody knows that now. I do apologise. Anyway, that was a anticlimactic start to the Grand Prix. Charlie will maintain their P1 after the race start and will effectively get a rolling start for this Grand Prix. Will anybody try and go into the pit lane? That's the only thing that we can really talk about at this stage. Looking at the tyres, Tom Brainer, JJ, that's Lexard and Richie, who need to try and sort themselves out. They don't want to switch up too much. But as I was saying, will they go into the pit lane? The softer tyre compound runners, they're going to be in an interesting situation. Could they go all the way to the into the hards? I don't think so. Would somebody want to try and go from the softs onto the mediums, or from the hards onto a double medium strategy? That might not be a bad shout at all, because then you don't have to pit to another compound. You could do a double medium. That is, of course, relying on the fact that there isn't going to be another safety car. I think, to be honest, the soft tyre runners, they've got to try and make the most of what their situation is. Maybe some of the hard tyre runners at the back would want to go for this kind of strategy that I'm thinking of, but it would be a big risk. Unfortunately, this is just some of the stuff that we have to deal with, so I do apologise for the bugs that we've got again. It's not what we want at all. Yeah, it's just what we've got to live with sometimes. That is JJ into the pit lane. So he's on that softer tyre. He's going to try something different. Dave Raptors also. Flexard retires from the race under safety car conditions. What happened there? That was interesting. Richie was behind him. Doesn't have damage. But he has just gone off the circuit and collided with the wall there. So I don't know what's gone on. That is JJ and Dave Raptors onto the double medium, as I thought. Yeah, I'm a little bit confused at what is happening. I'm just going to try and get a little bit of word on this if I can, so I do apologise. Alrighty, we will just try and see how this pans out, but keep an eye on what is going on. And then we'll get this race going. I do apologise for the delay. Alrighty, as of now, the race is going to continue. We've got Charlie on pole with Devon Young in P2 for a rolling start of this Grand Prix. who is going to be able to get the jump off the line. Will Charlie be able to trick everyone? He goes for it already. Devon Young trying his best to react, but squirmy on the front. Losing the front end, not able, I should say, to get the grip down. He's going to come back though later on the straight, and I think he wants to try and challenge for the lead of the Grand Prix immediately. He saw how quick that AlphaTauri is in quali. He's not going to give in. He's going to be alongside. He's going to have to back out surely. Look for the switchback though. That will be possible. He's on the hard tyre though. It's never going to work out like that. If he wants to have to dump a load of ERS, he is going to come back again. We've got more switching up behind, but this is still for the race lead. The inside line is taken, but no, it's not going to work. He is very lucky that he's got his teammate behind him, allowing him to fight this hard. Other than that, he could be in big trouble. We've got Tom Brainer making it P4 already on these soft tyres. Watch out for this man. He's going to be coming through. That is Peanuts in P5. They are the next hard tyre runner. Skies wants to try and come through if they can. Beck in P7, not able to make moves off the line. But I cannot wait to see what Tom Brainer's got in the bag for us. He's going to be absolutely rapid in the opening stages. We don't have any word from Flexard, so we can't see what's gone on, and therefore we will continue the race. That is Devon Young almost causing a pretty severe collision there. Cookie Monster having an issue, and that does unfortunately cut the corner. Not ideal for the race immediately. Lots of fastest laps already set. Tom Brainer being the one who leads the way on fastest laps. Is he going to try and look for a double overtake, a triple overtake? Is it going to be possible into the lead? I don't think he's quite going to be able to get there for P1, but he will try and challenge for P2. He's got the inside line on Oggio. They're side by side for a corner that you hardly ever go side by side at. It's a drag race. Devon Young's being let her go a little bit here. It is Tom Brainer who will manage to get in front, and now Charlie going from pole position is down to P4, and he's almost going to be losing P5. That invites Skies to go through on Peanuts. Maybe not the best battle that he could have picked right there with a medium tyre runner right behind him, but it is what it is now. Skies looking pacey, and he wants to try and get through. Very, very, very crazy stuff. That is Tom Brainer, who's going to try their best to catch up to Devon Young and make it work. They made it work yesterday in the F1 tier. They're doing exactly the same strategy. They've just got to hope that the safety car comes out at a good time for them, if it does come out. Hopefully it doesn't come out, because we would love to see some solid racing to the end. Alrighty, here we go. Tom Brainer, he's going to have a perfect opportunity. Alrighty. Dave Raptors picking up the pace. Here's Tom Brainer though, coming back late on the straight. He is going to use the tyres to their advantage, try and get the grip, and that will be the move done. Devon Young can't really do too much about it. We've got side by side with Skies, who is trying to come through, and he will get a phenomenal switchback. Equal tyres. Charlie, say goodbye to that position. Peanuts is also right there, but he can't quite get there. He's got Beckham behind him. He's on the equal tyre though. We're going to have a quick look at this man right here, Dave Raptors, making moves, making mega moves right now. He makes the move on Monk up to P10 from the back of the grid. Just having a look at the moment of what happened between the two drivers, and that is, yeah, Flexard out in a very, very, very peculiar way. I do apologise. We can't restart for that kind of incident, but yeah, it's a big incident that has caused somebody to lose out big time. That's side by side into the stadium section. That is frantic. And Bad Monkey yet again battling as we saw them battle so hard back in USA, of course, for some good points, and they're doing it again. What can we see between these guys? What we can see is Dave Raptor's already going for that one, but going for the lead of the Grand Prix is Devon Young, cutting in front of the Haas, and no questions about it. Charlie can't find the pace. He's on the faster tyre and he can't find the pace in the race. He must have some sort of damage, surely. There's no way that he can be in this situation right here. We've got Skies, who wants to try and get through, can't quite do it. Becken and Peanuts are so close together. There's a bit of a gap with Frantic and Dave Raptors, but Dave Raptors is definitely going to put some pressure on, and everybody's going to be in a massive, massive train. The gap that's split is Charlie. Then Skies is also not quite a second in front, as that is actually Peanuts who's managed to lose the car and drop behind Skies and just in front of Becken. That was the McLaren of Becken. Going wide, or was that just me seeing things? That is going to be side by side with Peanuts, who wants to have a go on Skies at an unorthodox place to overtake. It's maybe a place that you overtake on lap 1 or maybe lap 36, but not really a place you'd overtake on lap 7. But he's done it, and it works out, I guess. Now, going for the move will be many other drivers. Becken looking pretty pacey. There will be defensive throws here from the race leader. Tom Brainer's now going to try and demote him down and take that position, trying to make it work with these softer compound tyres. He was lucky yesterday as everybody was fighting. This time, not quite so easy. Everyone isn't fighting so much behind, they're fighting him. So he is able to control the pace, but other than that, he can't do anything else. That is a caution. That is unfortunately Richie having more issues, but hopefully he'll be good to go as he continues in a straight line. Lovely jubbly. That is Bad Monkey and Frantic yet again switching as they go into the S section. Seems to be a favourite overtaking opportunity as you basically force the other driver to back out and you can continue on your merry way. There's a big gap in the meantime. The DRS train is severe around here, which is how you see these splits be created very drastically. And yeah, it's a shame that we've got this split, but it is what it is. It rewards the guys that work together, and it punishes the slightest mistakes, making them even more major. And Tom Brainer is yet again going to try and go for the lead. This time they'll secure it a little bit more. We will go back to these guys, as we will see. That is going to be contact with the championship leader, and Sky's trying to get through. He rejoins, and he's going to sit in P12 outside of the points. That's Bad Monkey going to get in front of Peanuts now. Dave Raptors is going to be involved in it as well. He's going to try and get both of them if he can, but he's actually backing off and letting them go. Doesn't want to be involved in any incidents. Of course, that would not be what you'd need from a higher tier driver, so he's doing exactly the right thing, and he's going to try and get involved in a bit of a safer way later on. We still want him to race, we still want him to do well. That is for sure. Now, Bad Monkey has managed to come out on top out of all of this, so he's done a very good job. He is a little far behind Becken, so he's not quite going to get that DRS range, unfortunately, which is a shame, but it's how it goes. He's got Frantic close behind, who is going to be looking to make that move, especially as you see a car loosey-goosey on the rear like that, getting a terrible exit. And the time penalty with a lack of confidence. Devon Young switching positions. We could see Ogio actually in P3 going for the move as well, making it a Red Bull 1-2. Could the soft tyres already have dropped off? He can't fight back. It's impossible. It is done. And that will be DRS for both Red Bull drivers. And here comes Charlie as well. He's going to surely try and get involved in this one. No, he's not. He's going to leave it. He's going to let it happen. Frantic doesn't have to defend from anybody. Who does have to defend though is Monk from Dave Raptors, who's looking to swoop around the outside. No energy in the Williams, and that will be the Alpine through, and the Ferrari of JJ making his appearance in the race as he makes the move into P10. That is P9 if you take away Dave Raptors, who is that higher tier driver of course. So Monk still currently sits with 1 point to his name. Alrighty. Devon Young leads the way. Ogio in P2 and Tom Brainer 8 tenths behind now. He's got a bit of a gap. Not too much, it's okay. But lap 9 out of 36, he really needs to make sure that he keeps on top of all of this. Using a lot of energy right here to try and catch up. But yeah, he used a lot, but not enough. You either use none or loads. He's not really done either. That will be a switch up with the Alfa Romeo, but also the Alpine trying to get involved and ahead of the Mercedes. So close between the two, almost major contact, but luckily keeping it away from one another. And Peanuts will be in front, frantic in P7. And Dave Raptor slowly makes his way through the order. Yet again, though, sends it to the inside, going for the move. He's going to have the outside line. He's going to go off the circuit. That is going to be questionable. But it looks like maybe the game hasn't given him a penalty for it. Alrighty, do apologise. We're just quickly going to have to do something. We monitor the race quickly and then we'll be good to go. I do apologise for the delay. And then we'll be all sorted, ready for this one. Don't know why that's happening. We won't be long. Thank you for your patience, guys. There you go. There's everything that we need. No switch-ups except from the pit stops. That will be, of course, Tom Brainer, but it also will be Frantic, who loses out to JJ and Bad Monkey, but it's also a switch up again immediately on the exit, despite having no DRS. Frantic is somehow going to outrun everyone in a straight line, and the Mercedes looking in P2 at the moment, but JJ's got that inside line. We're going to watch on board from Monk's perspective as he wants to try and get through. No DRS for that Alfa Romeo, but because these guys are fighting so hard, he's able to break away. No energy for the Mercedes driver, which allows JJ to be able to hold on. There's contact on the inside line as these guys come together yet again, as they did in USA. Luckily, nothing more than a bit of a tap. Monk stays in P10. This is a close battle on track, but also a close battle. Devon, Young and Oggio, they've got to watch out for Tom Brainer, who has come out of the pit lane 6 seconds behind Skies. So he's not doing a bad job at all, but he's got to be careful that he doesn't jump into traffic, of course. And these guys are going to have to try and think about his strategy and react to it. Now, both Red Bulls, they do have the safest strategy on the grid. That is for sure. Are they going to switch up? They are going to switch up. The slingshot is kicked in. And that will be Oggio taking the lead of the Grand Prix. Charlie's there. He is close and he's pacey. He's finding his rhythm again, but it's a little bit too late because he's now going to have the disadvantaged tyre compared to the other drivers. So, yeah, it's a bit of a difficult one for him. It's never over until it's over, but we will see. Alrighty, sorry for the delay. We're back, we're good to go. And we're looking forward to some strategy calls. And we're also looking that Tom Brainer Tom Brainer, sorry, in P12 has caught 3 seconds to Skies ahead. Skies is no slouch. But the tyres that we saw yesterday were absolutely extreme in grip. If you look at life, and it's happening again. So we can see how beneficial the undercut can be. We saw that Nifajan tried to pull it off, but unfortunately it didn't work out due to safety cars, etc. And Tom Blaine has now taken inspiration from that. He could be in a good position here. We've got Dave Raptors and Peanut switching positions. We've also got JJ and Frantic looking to go side by side into the first corner. That is Bad Monkey, sorry, almost missing the corner. And Monkey will be right behind these guys watching them change. We're going to have to go with the race leaders, though, because Oggio has just lost that position to the lead driver, or the lead pack. Not the lead pack, just P2. Don't know what I'm saying. That is the Ferrari off the circuit. It's going to invite the Alfa Romeo to the inside line, but he's not quite going to be alongside enough to be able to make that move. Alrighty, everything's changing. We've got only 2 time penalties. And it's lap 13 out of 36. Pretty impressive. Pretty impressive. Now, we'll see how this goes. There is two main trains. This is the lead train. The Red Bull crew, all of the Red Bull teams on the grid right now. Of course, the sister teams. That is Charlie going to be looking to go for the lead, but Oggio's trying to also attack. He can't quite get there. Devon Young is now going to be losing the position to both drivers. Oggio wants to try and get into the lead of the battle. Devon Young's going to look at the switchback. He almost was collected by his teammate there. DRS will be available for Devon Young, but it isn't enough to get in front of Charlie. So all that fighting was maybe a little bit unnecessary, because look at the time that Dave Raptors has gained on that one. Of course, he just overtook Becken, but that slingshot, it was about 2 seconds just a second ago, and now they've lost all of that time. Dave Raptors is almost as in DRS, and he could look at trying to win another F1.5 race overall. Of course, he scores a different point system to the rest of the grid, as he is a higher tier driver, but he will still win the race overall. Pretty impressive stuff indeed. And really trying to lock the brakes up into the corner using his oversteery setups to his advantage. Very impressive to watch as always, of course. Will he get DRS though? That is the question. I don't think he's done enough this time around. And he's going to have to wait and hope that he doesn't get overtaken by Becken. But I think Becken is probably going to try and make it work with the slipstream effect. The leaders are also looking to switch, but they didn't in the end. And that will be Becken trying to make it work for this train right here. DRS will be available, so they will gain some time. We're going to go and look a little bit further back though with JJ and Frantic, as these guys are continuing to fight, and actually it's brought Tom Brainer into it. As these guys have been fighting so hard, all of a sudden Tom Brainer now on the better strategy, on the better tyre, trying to brake as late as he can, but he can't because he's got cars in the way, and this is not good for his strategy, but it's what you have to deal with if you're going to go for the undercut so early on. It can definitely work, but you've really got to calculate it and be aggressive. And when you've got lots of people battling at a circuit like this, when DRS is so key, it's virtually impossible. Now Tom Brainer's going to have to use energy and go for the move, a bit of a wheel bang, which is an interesting one, but Bad Monkey lets it go as he sees he's not on the same strategy as the Haas driver, and then they continue to drive as they are. So Tom Brainer's going for the soft medium or the soft medium soft, as he's actually going to be able to go for the move on Frantic on the exit of the corner. He'll get DRS. Will he be able to tuck into the toe of the Ferrari? The Ferrari is long gone, and actually Frantic didn't even get DRS himself. So yeah, that is a shame for him. We got Monkey and Monk and Bad Monkey all fighting as they're going to try and make it side by side, but well read from the Mercedes as he backs out and lives to fight another day. Well done to Monk to get that job done. Tom Brainer is going to make the move on JJ. Very close margins right there, but he did get it done, and now he's going to try and break away. He's got 9 seconds in front where no one will be. And we're going to have a look at the gap to the race leader. We'll just see how much he'll undercut. That is huge. That is a huge undercut. But he does have to pit again. So, you know, if there is a well-timed safety car, he'll be golden. But I don't know how possible that is. Something that we've got to see just as quickly that we didn't notice until now. The two race leaders from earlier have now lost it to Charlie, and Charlie has managed to find pace in the later stages of this stint, which is very strange. Everybody's kind of bunched up now, so the lead pack has just enlarged itself by a massive amount. Charlie just managed to hold on or break away from DRS, and Devon Young will not get it because it is a double detection zone. So that means Charlie is going to be safe for the moment until he wants to make a pit stop, which I assume will be pretty soon. Terrence speeds into the pit lane. Unfortunately, that is not how we want to see that for him. Cookie Monster has not been able to get back into the lobby, which is a shame. but we'll have to figure this one out afterwards. I do apologise. Now, Charlie, will he take this opportunity as he's broken away to try and make it into the pit lane? I don't think it's a bad idea at all. He could definitely make it work. We'll find out. They only have Tom Brainer catching up more and more, and he's not far away at all to these guys. He's in clean air, he's good to go. Charlie does make that call. Dave Raptors, will he follow? He doesn't need to follow. He's on a different strategy. He is going to be pitting in his own time. He'll be pitting at exactly the same time and then going on to exactly the same tyre. He's now got the two cars in front looking to battle. They switch up. They try and make it work. Dave Raptors doesn't opt for the move. It does mean Becken and Peanuts can't try and challenge, but it is safer for Dave Raptors, so I think that's pretty well read. It's not going to be another switch up between the top two. They'll stay as they are. And that's going to be Oggio leading on lap 18 as he tries to make sure that Charlie doesn't overtake. Now, the question is who out of the Red Bull crew are going to make pit stops. Now, Oggio has priority on track position at the moment, so you could argue it's his choice, but unless they've already decided that before the race, we will have a look and see how that goes. It could get very technical. Bad Monkey and Frantic switching positions on the circuit again. Now we're coming towards the pit lane as Tom Brainer catches up a little bit more time. I say that, he's not caught up as much as I would have hoped to see. Oggio, is he going to make that pit stop? Is he going to make the call to try and react to the AlphaTauri? He will not. So Charlie is going to be loving life. That being said, though, Charlie does have two cars to try and overtake, so he could be in trouble. Devin Young is going to look to overtake his teammate, get the slingshot working. Dave Raptors has a quick look to the inside, but can't quite do it. Peanuts also wanted to try and challenge, but he will not do it either. Bad Monkey makes the move into the pit lane, and that will allow Charlie to have a bit of an easier time with Frantic, but not that easy because he doesn't actually have DRS. He will stay as he is in P9, and he's got a little bit of work to do. Frantic isn't a bad driver at all. He's on the hard tyre though, so he's going to be struggling for a while. And that was Monk and Bad Monkey switching positions. Both of these guys are pitted. Monk going for the undercut. Bad Monkey going to get those tyres warmed up, and we'll go for the very interesting strategy. That is Charlie making that move on Frantic, and he didn't fight at all. So it is going to be undercut town for Charlie, but on a tyre like this, it's not going to be so easy. We will find out. Devin Young doesn't pit. Oggio gets priority, or gets the first call in, I should say, and he will try and go for this undercut. But look at this man. He is not far at all. He's probably not as close as he would like to be. Because these guys are in a train, it does mean that they are able to I don't know, break away and kind of override an undercut. Charlie gets a significant undercut over Oggio. You can see how much he's actually managed to break away, and it's only 2 laps difference. I usually say 2 laps can be the difference between winning and losing a Grand Prix, but with a 5-second gap, that is absolutely immense. We've got JJ leaving the pit lane. He's got Bad Monkey just coming out in front of him. He's also got Frantic a little bit further behind, who's also just pitted. So there's going to be a continuation of an epic battle further down the field. But we will see how this goes. That's Devin Young leading the way, and he will be wanting to go to the pit lane at some point soon. In the meantime, Tom Brainer has yet again managed to catch up, but he's still going to make a second pit stop, and he'll have to go for a set of softs. So he might have to try and catch up and then go for it. Dave Raptors braking as late as he could. It was a risky move considering that he's got the Red Bull in front of him, but he gets it done. Peanuts and Becken stay as they are. and they will continue both with DRS, so they're not actually going to switch. And Tom Brainer only 6 seconds behind now. If he didn't have to pit again, that would be amazing, but he will probably have to pit, so he's going to have a lot of work to do, and it will, from now on, I think he's aiming for that soft tyre. Now you can see Devon Young and Oggio, they are right next to each other, so actually Devon Young's managed to react quite nicely to his teammate's undercut. They are still, however, 6 seconds behind Charlie, who's on an absolute charge, and despite pitting so much later than Tom Brainer, is only 5 seconds away from him. So that is an incredible situation that he's right in there. It's a fair play to him. We're going to have to look with the guys further behind as JJ is going to try and regain a position over Monk. Monk has the inside line, but I don't know if he's going to have the advantage to the outside, and then that will be the Ferrari making that move work. And he has actually gone off the circuit slightly. It invites the Mercedes goes through, and they continue. They are switching up left, right and centre. Frantic needs to try and find a little bit if he wants to get in this battle, and I think he's just done enough to get that DRS. That is the top two into the pit lane, and we will see how this works. They are going as long as possible to get the freshest tyres late on, and they will be in a very strong position. Charlie has a time penalty, which is going to make it incredibly difficult, but he is so fast right now, it's going to be very, very impossible to actually fight. And Oggio miscommunicating a little bit there with where his teammate wants to go. They're going to box in Dave Raptors. Dave Raptors is still going to try and make it through, and he will. Oh, very, 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 very tricky over the curb. He will make contact and didn't quite get the move done. That was very unfortunate for him, but didn't want to give in. Still wanted to try and give it a shot, of course. Oggio might be in danger of losing DRS to the car in front if he's not careful. Devon Young, 6 seconds. The gap hasn't changed as much, so they are stabilising it a little bit and making sure that they don't lose too much to Charlie. Charlie can really see the effect, though, of these more worn tyres from Tom Brainer, so there is no question that he will have to go into the pit lane again. That being said, though, Charlie does have a time penalty to his name, so it doesn't actually make it that easy. Tom Brainer, he has in theory got about 8 second gap to the rest of the field if you take away 6 second really, because of the 3 second added to Charlie's name. So he's not in a bad position, to be honest, but a soft medium, it will be so hard to do. Devon Young leads the way and he continues in front of his teammate, who does catch back up. Dave Raptors isn't able to be close to these guys. I think he might have actually got a bit of damage. Didn't get DRS, interestingly, off the Ghost car, so really struggling right here, and not very lucky with the way the Ghost car has played out for him. Becken and Peanuts, they are trying to catch up. They've actually dropped each other on DRS, so they are splitting up a little bit. Becken trying to make a charge this season and try and put a bit of a statement in ahead of his fellow countryman, who is doing a phenomenal job so far this season, having a perfect start. Now, it's not going to be that easy. Yesterday, he was very, very pacey, very racy, but just didn't quite have the answer late on into the session. Now that has changed a little bit. Tom Brainer goes into the pit lane, makes the call. Onto the softs already, it looks like he'll go, which is a strange call to go so early. He's actually gone for the medium, so yeah, that was not so strange. I think he's hoping that a safety car would have come out, and that's why he was going a little bit longer, but then he doesn't want to risk it, so he's going to just try and make this push. He will lose the position to Skies, who's got a mega pace in a straight line as they've just left the pit lane. He will manage to stay in front of Bad Monkey and JJ, who are still racing hard with one another, and those guys are fighting 4 points. Frantic currently the last one to get 1 point, of course, because of the promotion from Dave Dave Raptors being a higher tier driver who, I should say, has caught back up to DRS range on Oggio, so he's doing a very good job right there. But yeah, Tom Brainer's the one to watch. He's going to try and make the move on Skies at some point as soon as he possibly can. It should be pretty straightforward. It's just the question is how many positions can he make back with the time that he's got. It's not about the tyre grip, it's about the laps he's got to do the job. Becken has DRS on Dave Raptors, suggesting that Dave Raptors is maybe struggling. They've only got 1 lap difference in tyres, but 2 laps difference in tyres at Oggio. And Becken, of course, who goes and puts the fastest lap in. Now they're in the DRS train, and Peanuts does not have an answer to this, doing a phenomenal job, is the McLaren, despite not having a teammate in today's Grand Prix. I do apologise for the delay. We'll be right back. And we continue, these guys fighting, of course, as usual. Now Devon Young only needs to find a little bit more time if he wants to catch up to Charlie. 3 seconds is the difference. 5 seconds for Terence and 6 seconds for Cookie Monster. But other than that, it is all as it stands. So, yeah, Charlie, he's got 3/10 advantage to lead and possibly win this Grand Prix. Devon Young could possibly look at his first race win this season, and we are looking at our first different race winner this season, other than Peanuts, of course, who has dominated so far. Oggio is not going to want to really settle for that, because although he's good friends with his teammate and they are having a hell of a constructors run at the moment, they do still want to race each other on circuit and fight for the championship themselves. So I'm sure Oggio's going to try and get in on this one. They all want those valuable points. So you've got a 3-wide moment between these guys. Making it 2 wide is Skies, who looks maybe for the switchback on both drivers if he can. He's really going cautious to try and get a better exit, just not quite judging it quite well. That is going to be DRS for both of these guys, and that is going to mean Skies cannot do anything about it, and his teammate for today's race will catch up and be looking at DRS in the coming laps. Monk not able to catch up on the tyre that he's on, which is a shame, but it is what it is. All of a sudden gaining mega time right now on Charlie is Devon Young. There is no questions how that happened, because they are on the grippier tyre. It's possible that there was a mistake from Charlie with the time game, but I think really it was always going to happen anyway. Tom Brainer trying his best to catch up, but it's not easy whatsoever. He does have the more beneficial tyres, but it's not that much of a difference. He'll be good to go to the end of the Grand Prix. That is a defensive throw there from Devon Young on his teammate, who is getting attacked by Dave Raptors. Devon Young's trying to help his teammate really a little bit here to try and make sure that he can box in Dave Raptors, but it didn't work. Ogier makes a mistake on the exit. The Alpine's going to come through. The McLaren was also interested, but not quite able to look at a safe overtake. They have to back off. But yeah, that's an interesting one. Tried to help him almost. It looked like he was going defensive, but no. He wanted him to be able to brake late and fend off Dave Raptors. It didn't quite pan out as the way they hoped. And that is going to be them trying to go back to the drawing board. That being said, doesn't matter. Dave Raptors is a higher tier driver. They just need to hope that he's not in the way later on in the Grand Prix. Peanuts just nowhere at the moment. He is in no man's land. Tom Brainer also in no man's land. These guys with mega pace, they just can't find anybody on circuit right now. We've got JJ. He's got mega pressure from the cars behind. He didn't get DRS on the ghost car of Cookie Monster. He will be looking at getting DRS though onto the main straight. So this is going to be a massive help for the Ferrari driver. Big mistake there for the Mercedes, which is not ideal. But yeah, JJ's going to be super happy with this, as he will get a strong toe down the main straight, and it will allow him to possibly break away from the car behind who does have DRS. They have a bit of slipstream, but they've got no energy in that car. So this time, JJ will hold on in front of the Mercedes. Now, the battle for the race lead has once again arisen as Charlie's tyres just can't cope. He might be able to make a later comeback, but it's just not going to be very likely with a train of cars this big. Becken having a bit of a lag spike, but they managed to still stay on circuit, so it was just a visual bug. He was looking close to Oggio. He knows he wants to try and make that move, and he knows he's got that pace in the car, making those laps really work, making them purple. That's exactly what you need, and really improving his pace by 5/10 ahead of the Red Bull driver, 2/10 ahead of Devon Young. Looking like Becken is going to maybe try and challenge sooner rather than later. He pulls to the inside but isn't actually going to be there. Switching for the race lead immediately though is Dave Raptors, and Devon Young is going to follow through. He is hopeless. Helpless, I should say. He can't do anything about it. Charlie will just have to let it go and hope that he can come back later, but it's not going to be straightforward with a time penalty to his name. It's only going to be backwards from now on. The question is, can Oggio and Becken make the move sooner rather than later? They have to get it done, otherwise they will split up and it could be race over for these guys. It would be Dave Raptors and Devon Young splitting away. Charlie's got a time penalty, so he's going to be out of it, and Dave Raptors is a higher tier driver. So if Devon Young and Dave Raptors did split, then basically Devon Young would guarantee the victory. This is a perfect opportunity for him. It's just whether Oggio knows that he needs to play aggressive and go for that move now, or if he's going to really try and hold off. Also, if he made that move, he would be able to fend off from the McLaren a little bit, who will be trying to push shortly. And if he doesn't see him go for the move on the AlphaTauri, who will be slower on that hard tyre, then he might want to try and make the move himself. He's still not pushing for it though, is Becken, so he is going to let it go, and not close enough to the car ahead is Oggio. That is Devon Young making the move for the lead, and Dave Raptors doesn't fight it. He knows what he needs to do. They're just going to let it happen. They didn't gain that much time on Charlie though, so Charlie isn't doing a bad job on circuit-wise to be able to keep the pace up. Oi, that is a big mistake there for Oggio. Doesn't want to be doing that. The McLaren's going to get impatient if he keeps doing things like that. He doesn't want to lose out to the train. You know how significant it is around here. Becken, yep, he's got to really think about what's happening. And yeah, well, really, Oggio's got to think about what's happening. He's got to try and impress. It's almost a game of trying to impress your rivals on circuit. If they know that you're fast, if they know that you're going to be able to make progress, then they're probably not going to overtake you. They're just going to let you drag them through the field. But if you can't do it, then they're going to get frustrated and they're going to try and push you out the way instead. It's just the way it goes in racing. And Becken's going to have to think about what they want to do, because they've got a lot of energy in that car. They can't afford to lose out too much more, because they are running out of laps. You suddenly look at the clock, you've only got 6 to go, including this one, and Devon Young leads the Grand Prix with many cars in between him, a time penalty runner, and also a higher tier driver. He's got 2 cars that don't make a difference to his Grand Prix, and then he's got Oggio and Becken. One of them is his teammate. They're going to be communicating. Becken is the only major threat to Devon Young right now in this race. He is sorted. He's got 3 cars in between to try and be a buffer. Peanuts is coming back at this later stage as these guys are all close together. It's just whether he can bring the time back enough. Unfortunately for Tom Brainer, the tyres just aren't working for him. He's got that time penalty. It's going to be a P7, which is solid points, but it's going to be so hard to deal with. It was a hell of a strategy call. It almost worked. It gave us a lot of excitement, But other than that, it is what it is. You can see the massive train that we've got. You can see Peanuts trying to catch up, and he is slowly but surely getting there. You can also see Charlie, who gets a great exit on Dave Raptors. Will he try and go for the move? DRS available. He is using the energy. He wants to try and push for it. And he's getting a little bit of an extra toe, but not really enough. It did force Dave Raptors to challenge. And force the Red Bull driver to go defensive. It will slow everybody up, bunch the pack up. We will see Oggio, though, get a sniff of an opportunity. He's going to use the energy to try and get involved. He's made the commitment. He knows what he needs to do. He will send it to the inside line. Will the Hards be able to compete? They cannot do it. That, I'll tell you what, is an epic send there. Well thought out there from Oggio. I know he is on the hard tyres, Charlie, but still, that send is exactly what you need to do. He kept it within track limits, regardless of what tyre you're on. That was a textbook move. Well done indeed from Oggio. He's now... Oh no, he's lost it immediately! That could be a safety car late on in the Grand Prix, and it is. I do not know what to say. That is another major mistake. We saw it in Abu Dhabi whilst he was leading the Grand Prix. How about that? Time penalties galore for many drivers now. It's going to bring everybody close together, and it will be badly affecting lots of drivers. That is Devon Young leading the pit lane train, I should say, sorry. And he's going to be good to go on the soft tyre. Not exactly what he was hoping for. Charlie's going to be saved a little bit. Peanuts is going to be able to catch back up to this battle. Maybe fresh tyres will be good for him. We've not got many laps to go. We're not going to get DRS again. It is going to be full aggression, full beans, full setup, full ERS, and grip racing, which is always very dramatic. Beckon's actually lost out to Peanuts there. I don't know what happened, but they've switched up, which isn't really what he was hoping, but it's happened. It is what it is. Bad Monkey gets in front of JJ, and then he's right behind him. Frantic and Skies, they're going to hold each other up possibly. That being said, I think Skies is probably far enough away. We will get the likes of Terrence and Monk back into this race, but we haven't got that long to go. We will be racing on lap 35 out of 36, so they have to push on their outlap, otherwise they're not going to be in this race. They really need to make it work. They cannot relax. They can't save the tyres, the grip on the tyres. Of course, they will just push as they usually would do, which is a slight disadvantage, of course, because you will lose that optimal grip. But the game is the game, and it's just part of it. Alrighty. That is Devon Young leading the way, Dave Raptors in P2, Charlie of a time penalty in P3, then Peanuts jumping Beckon in P5, Tom Brainer catches up to the pack now in P6, and then we've got Bad Monkey, JJ Frantic, Skies, and then Monk getting promoted to the points after that big DNF. That was huge for Red Bull's Constructors' Championship. They had two drivers looking to score strong points and take the championship lead by a mile this race. Now, they might be able to gain the championship lead, maybe, if they can try and outscore the McLarens, because there are a few cars in between Beckon, of course, but I think that might be enough, just enough. If Beckon can try and pull it, McLaren's still in the lead. I believe Peanuts will still maintain the championship lead after this one, but it's definitely going to close up if Devon Young can hold on. He's only got 2 laps to think about. He's got no DRS. He's just got to try and evenly spread that ERS out. So it's going to be full adrenaline and maximum pace. We will have everybody catching up to the pack because we'll get that confirmation. Everyone will slow down massively as we'll come into the stadium section, and we will get Terence into the battle. I say Terence because Cookie Monster's AI is a ghost car. It does mean that he's in between Tom Brainer and Bad Monkey, which is a shame for those guys because it does mean that you can't overtake the ghost car, but it is what it is. It happens. Alrighty, here we go for the closing stages of the Mexican Grand Prix. The safety car goes in. When will Devin Young go for the restart? And can Dave Raptors, the F1.5 champion, react to the current championship challenger? And he goes for it. Oh, a crazy, crazy bunch up between many, many drivers there. That's not going to be Peanuts happy because he has just lost out big time. Charlie in P4, he actually lost out big time, actually, I should say. It's all a little bit hectic off the restart. Dave Raptors right there. That's Tom Brainer standing into the inside, almost making it 3 wide, almost making contact with the McLaren. Oh, that was very, very, very close. And it's going to be side by side with the Alfa Romeo and the Ferrari, the two Italian teams. The Alfa Romeo goes off the circuit momentarily. He's going to try and come back and go side by side into the corner. Will he be able to get the move done? They are continuing as they go. The Ferrari will get track advantage and they will have to single file it for the rest. That is Devin Young leading the way very nicely. That's Peanuts having to go defensive on Charlie. I don't quite know what happened there. I thought Peanuts was behind Charlie on the restart, but then he was ahead. Charlie was trying to come back through. I don't really understand what was going on, but yeah, there was some interesting stuff. It always seems to be very tricky at the Mexico circuit with the safety car restarts. It's happened, and you just have to try and move on. Becken hasn't got a great launch after all of that. Devin Young, though, leads the way, and he's got a 6/10 advantage. He's also got a higher tier driver in front who will not be able to score points in front, so he doesn't need to worry. Using the energy already, that is not a bad move at all. It does mean that Dave Raptors is going to have a great opportunity as long as he nails the exit with a little bit of energy and a little bit of slipstream. They're both so loose on the rear end as they come out trying their best to fight as hard as they can, and they are going to make the move. Will Devin Young let it go? It's going to be side by side between the cars behind as Peanuts is trying to get through. Becken's going to try and get involved. He was looking a little bit too eager there and he didn't actually make it work. It's going to be Dave Raptors leading the pack now. Devin Young P2. Peanuts is going to be a little bit too far behind after that. Charlie makes a mistake. That's going to invite Becken to get a better exit, but I think they will stay as they are. Will anybody else be able to fight? We've got the Mercedes who wants to get a bit of a tow. The final opportunity to make an overtake. It's not going to be possible. We could see Peanuts and Charlie switch. We will not. Dave Raptors returns to F1.5 and he will win the Mexican Grand Prix, but Devin Young for the F1.5 EU drivers will win in Mexico for the first time this season, takes the top step of the podium. Peanuts in P3 and Becken in P4. How about that? Peanuts is gonna comfortably maintain their championship lead, but Devin Young is coming for them. He is coming for them. A crazy, crazy race. That was absolutely nuts. Dave Raptors, once again, showing in F1.5, he is unmatched. F1 has his issues, but when it comes to racing, it's just a Saturday feeling that he must get. I don't know what it is. Saturday for Dave Raptors is unreal. Dave Raptors wins, Devin Young in P2, and then we've got Peanuts, Beck and Charlie, Frantic, Tom Brainer, Monk, Terence, JJ, Skies, Bad Monkey, Cookie Monster, and Ogyo DNFing, followed by Richie and Flexard earlier on in the Grand Prix. We'll make sure we get all the time penalties, and then we will go and quickly take a look at the race director as usual. We've got the driver's section, we've got the incident section, which is going to be chocker around this circuit, and then we will go to the pit stops for the final time with all the softs being plonked on towards the end. We'll be back for the post-race interviews. We'll see you in a bit. Hello everyone and welcome back to the LSI F1.5 EU Championship. We're today for the post-race interviews of the Mexican Grand Prix. That was a crazy one. We start the interviews with Charlie. Charlie, that was a great pole position. Didn't quite work out at the beginning of the race, but later on the tyres seemed to pick up in the second stint. I don't know. Can you take us through the rest of it as well?
I mean, first of all, like the strategy, like the idea of starting on mediums was to, create a gap on first 3 laps, then just kind of pull away and manage the pace from there. But the rolling start kind of disallowed that. Like I couldn't really do that from the rolling start. Then after the pit stops, I was able to create a gap, but then hards were just not good in the second stint, and then the second safety car came. I had 3-second penalty, and I just got eaten up. So it was just, a strategic disaster, kinda.
Do you feel confident in your pace though to do well in the next one at Austria?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, like even this race, I knew I had pace, but I just kind of got screwed over, by the safety car in the beginning. So yeah,
it's a tough one, and it seems the safety cars have been cursing the races this weekend, so I do apologise. It's very, very tough, but I hope you can do well next time. Thank you very much. One last question. How would you describe your race in 3 words?
Got fucked over.
Thank you very much, and we'll see you next time. Great effort today, and thank you for the racing. And we move on to Devon Young. Devon, that is your first victory of the season, of course, for the F1.5 EU Championship. Well done. Finally, get the job done. Can you take us through that?
Yeah, it was quite an intense race, I would say, because I feel like I was just like sat either in P1 or P2 like the entire for like all 36 laps.
Sorry.
So I was kind of. Yeah, I know. Yeah, because you wouldn't know, Aaron, mate. You know what I mean? You'll have to take my word for how it feels. It's not very fun, but anyway, yeah. So, it's hard being this good at life, but anyway, it was kind of like it's quite uncomfortable. Obviously, well, as you know, I just changed my rig around and I was so uncomfortable. Like, I don't know if it's because I'm not used to this or it's literally just in a bad position, but I was really struggling with the brakes, and then my fucking elbow kept on elbowing myself in the ribs whenever I was turning left, and I was just like, I was really sweaty, which wasn't very fun. So it was an uncomfortable race, and I was kind of happy to get that safety car because it kind of meant like I could have a bit of a break before the last like little battle with Dave, which was fun. It was fun to have a battle with my old championship rival, but no, quite a fun race, I would say.
Awesome. Well said. Austria, do you think you can win the next Grand Prix and maybe look at leading the championship?
Is that possible, is it?
I haven't
You've
checked.
made that up.
I haven't checked, but it's not impossible. I think you're going to have to hope in that regard that Peanuts would have an absolute stinker.
Well, I mean,
go ahead.
Hopefully I can make some sort of gain, I suppose, but I definitely need to have another fiddle around with my rig, because that was hell.
I mean,
so
it worked.
hopefully if I get that, it did work, so maybe something's right. Maybe I just drive better when I'm in agony, I don't know. So maybe I should have a look at that, but no, Austria, I don't know if it's like a good track or not really for me. It's just mediocre, I would say.
Fair enough. Well, thank you very much. One last question. How would you describe your race in 3 words?
My rib hurts.
Thank you very much, and congrats on the win today, Dave. Devon, thank you very
Thank
much. Talking about Dave, who I just accidentally mentioned, sorry for missing you on the interviews. We now go to you. Well done today. You have won the Grand Prix overall. It just seems that Saturday works for you.
Yeah, it does seem so. I think it just comes down to, I think it's just a better day for me. I'm not as busy, so I feel a bit more fresh for the race. But I think it obviously was just a bit of fun for me to just race with some of the guys, and actually was really interested to come through the pack because I haven't, like last season, I didn't really have too many races where I was starting from towards the back and coming through the field. So it was quite nice to actually race with a couple of them guys. Further down the field, and then of course towards the end having a battle with the likes of Charlie, Oggio, Becken, Peanuts, and of course Devon on the last lap was really good fun. And to be honest, the race was just basically to have a nice battle with all them lot, keep it clean of course, and you know, I mean I was being careful all race, but I did definitely want to take the win, obviously on track anyways, which was good to see. At the end, there was a little bit of a battle because I didn't want it to just be given up too easy. So definitely a really good battle towards the end, and a great race from Devon to secure that win in the 1.5 championship and get himself back in the championship hunt.
Well said. Last season, the Mexico Grand Prix, you dominated. Were you surprised that you didn't get through to the front earlier, or I'm just trying to be ambitious here?
To be honest, I think I was lucky I got towards the front because I pitted onto those mediums lap one after the obviously the safety car bug that has been awful in this game, especially in the 1.5 championship, funnily. So I actually thought I got quite lucky that happened because I don't think I had the pace, like the superior pace advantage, especially through the middle sector, because my setup was definitely favoured for the straights. As it was yesterday. It was the same one yesterday, and it's very hard to get the power down. So I was really just hoping that I could just basically sit in behind for quite a couple of laps, just behind people, not really push the car too much, and then strike towards the end of the Grand Prix, which is what I ended up doing. So to be honest, I think I got quite lucky with the early safety car, and then even at the end, that late safety car probably did help me out a little bit to just go onto a fresh set of tyres so that I wasn't struggling with the traction zone. So I'd say, to be honest, I don't think I would have actually got in the top three today, but Mexico is one of my stronger tracks, but it's definitely, my setup makes it, or my setups in general, because they seem to be very twitchy, make the track a lot harder to actually drive than it seems.
Fair enough. Well said. You've done a very good job today. Congratulations. Austria, do you like straight lines?
I like Austria, but to be honest, I'd rather a more technical track, which is a little bit more open. Just because I think I rather the low downforce setups in general for most tracks. But Austria is definitely a nice track to race on. Obviously, I'll be trying to make it on Friday and put in a good performance for once in the F1 championship. But Austria always is great just for racing, so I'm hoping to just get involved in that and hopefully maybe push for a podium next weekend.
Awesome. We know you got the potential. It's just down to the day. Thank you very much, Dave. And one last question: how would you describe your race in 3 words?
Lots of fun.
Thank you very much, and we'll see you next time. Well done today. And we move on to Oggio.
Yeah.
Oggio, we heard that you had some issues. Can you take us through that? What happened?
Yeah, for the first time in probably all my life, I had actually decent qualifying. But of course, the rolling star was a bit. It took me out of my rhythm, and it lost me a few seconds, and a lot of furious because everyone deploys when you restart. And I was feeling at the top, always being within the rest of the car ahead, except for when we pitted and split up, but eventually we reunited and kept DRS training. But then towards the end, I'm gonna go up and help Devon to defend from Dave. Of course, I didn't realize that he wasn't scoring points at that time, so it was a bit sad. But I got a screen freeze right as I went over an AstroTurb and lost the rear. So yeah, I just spun. Didn't catch it in time.
It's a tough place to try and catch a car, especially where it is basically where the walls are closest. Like, that couldn't have been a worse place to lose the car, except for maybe the final corner. But yeah, very devastating. I'm so sorry for that one. You just got to try and ignore it and look towards Austria. How do you think it will go there?
Austria is it's on an alright track for me, but I'm keen to get penalties in basically every race, so yeah, might be a bit difficult. But of course, it's fun racing unless you have people going on the grass and making a ping pong effect.
Fair enough. Thank you very much. And we'll see you next time. One last question. How would you describe your race in 3 words?
Need to upgrade.
Thank you very much. And we'll see you next time. Hopefully the technical issues don't plague you again. Thank you.
Thank you.
And we move on to Peanuts. Peanuts, there just wasn't an answer. The safety car kicked in and maybe helped out, but can you take us through it?
Yeah, I was just very slow today. I mean, you can't always be the fastest car out there. I lost like DRS to that train, and then I held like 2 seconds. I couldn't really break into it because as fast as I started pushing, I was making a shit ton of mistakes, and then as fast as I took it easy, I gained like 1-2 tenths per lap. So I mean, there's a lot of positives to take from this race, and that is that I somehow, I think, finished P2 because Dave Raptors doesn't get any points. No.
Yeah, he scores a higher tier driver point system, so he scores wherever he finishes. You guys get promoted.
So does that mean that Devon gets 20 points?
Yes, it does.
I get okay. No, P2 I would take that. It was looking like I was gonna have like P6 there. So I mean, really good. I'm really pleased, to be honest.
Fair enough. I'm glad you're happy. Happiest person to finish second. Yeah, we'd say Austria. Do you think you can return to winning ways there?
I mean, I think winning around Austria is always going to be a really tough challenge due to the people slower than you can overtake you in the straights.
It's like the Indy 500 of F1.
Yeah, no, exactly. I mean, I couldn't come up with a better analogy myself.
Do you like the nature of the circuit? Do you think heavy braking zones might allow you to make those epic overtakes that you've made so far this season?
I mean, I think overtaking around Austria tends to be really easy, but the difficult thing is actually winning because it's just DRS games all the way to the line. I've never been a big fan of this track, sim racing wise, because it's like I'm 7/10 slower, but I still I can still overtake somebody who's 7/10 quicker than me.
Yeah, fair enough. Well said. Thank you very much, Peanuts. One last question. How would you describe your race in 3 words?
Off the pace. Next time I will be better.
Thank you very much, and we'll see you next time. Well done today and great effort.
Cheers.
And we move on to the final one, Tom Brainer. Tom, leading Grand Prix again. The strategy was a risky one. It didn't quite work out. Do you think it was still the best you could give?
Yeah, I would say so. Like, I couldn't get done a clean lap in qualifying. The strategy with giving slipstream with Flexor didn't work out. So I was unlucky with my quali pace. Then wanted to try the same as yesterday and last season with the soft tire. Unfortunately, we started behind the safety car, so I couldn't use it as I would have liked to. Because I would say with the advantage, I could have been like on top of the field at the start of lap 2 or so, and just get the gap I need to. Yeah, when I was in the ice train with the guide on the heart, I knew I have to do something different because I have to pit earlier when I will do a one stop, and the guys will just catch me with the much fresher mediums at the end. So I tried the two stop. I mean, it worked at the beginning. I got really close to the other guys. But when were all on the mediums, I couldn't catch up. I thought, yeah, it will probably end like that. Cause I didn't thought of a safety car. So I haven't concentrated as much, which led me to get the penalty, which is really unfortunate at the end, cause I lost like 2 positions with it. Oh yeah, it was a really unfortunate race from the beginning.
It was tough. It was tough, but you've yet again shown awesome improvement. It is here. Austria, do you think you can maybe get your first win?
I would say I've got good chances in Austria, I theoretically had here. My pace is great. I think I know how to get past the guys, even with DRS, and think that I will get a great chance on at least a podium.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Tom. I'm sure it will be a good result soon, and we'll see you next time. One last question. How would you describe your race in 3 words?
Why Bernd Mailänder?
Thank you very much, and we'll see you next time. Well done today. Great effort. And that has been it for the post-race interviews. That has been it for the Mexican Grand Prix. Thank you very much for watching. We will see you next weekend for the last race before the break, the Austrian Grand Prix. That is going to be an epic one. Do not miss it. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.